Hey guys, alright, so it is Thursday, and I totally was thinking that I never even did a Would You Rather video on Monday. You guys have to remind me, apparently I'm not good at remembering stuff lately, um, well, especially lately, and it's just been very, very difficult, and I just realized that today is Thursday, and I never did a Would You Rather video. Which I wanted to because I got a lot of good questions from you guys still. But today's topic, I'm going to be talking about a topic that a viewer, subscriber, whatever, wrote in and asked me. So I'm going to read you the question and then I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability. So she says, "Hi Melissa, I wanted to know if you could talk about people with disabilities for your next topic if you can. Like, what do you think of them? Would you hang out with them / be friends with them? Um, Anything else you might want to add? I'm 19 years old, female, and I've been disabled all of my life, and I was just curious to find out what you think of us disabled. Laugh out loud. Take care. By the way, I enjoy watching your videos. Keep doing what you do." So, I would say your name, but I'm not really sure if it's okay, so I'm not gonna do that. But, alright, so this is actually a really, really good topic, and the reason why I didn't touch on it sooner is because I wanted to think about it a little bit. Um, I guess people with, like disabilities, I don't think of them differently. I mean, yes, your people with disabilities are different in a way that they have disability, but to me, they are still people. Um, and I asked her in a previous email what she had, and her health issues. Now, if I am totally massacring these words, forgive me. She has spina bifida, bif, bifida, yeah, spina bifida, hydrocep. I don't know that one. It's like hydrocephalus. It's a VP junt. I'm not really sure what that is. And club feet. Um, Now, okay, so if you watch my videos, and like you said that you do, you know that I have several nerve conditions, and along with I have pinched nerves, I have carpal tunnel, and I have a bulge in my neck up here. A lot of people, when they first see me and I tell them that, you know, that I've been disabled, their first response is, well, you look normal, you look fine. And that's the thing, a lot of people with disabilities look completely 100% fine. Um, but just because they look fine, it doesn't mean that that person is fine. Um, so, I don't know how this affects your life. I didn't really look into it at all because I wanted to really do this topic for you. But I don't think of anybody that has a disability different. I know a couple people that were born with severe disabilities, whether it was MS, which is multiple sclerosis, or, uh, all kinds of disabilities. Or sometimes people are born completely healthy and, something happens down the road and they become disabled, kind of like me. I was born completely healthy, besides asthma, and 2007, and I was hit by a drunk driver, and now I have to live with these severe nerve conditions for the rest of my life. um, and I think people immediately judge us because we are disabled, and they look at us in a completely different way. My look on disability is you have a disability, and unfortunately it's something that you can't change and it won't go away. And I don't believe that people should think of that person as being different. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, we're all people and we're not different no matter what kind of disability. I'm actually looking up your disability right now. Um, no matter what disability we have, it, it doesn't matter because you're still human. And, I hate people, not hate, because hate is a strong word, but it bothers me when people say, well, they make fun of like handicapped people and they'll say, oh, look at that retarded person. I can't be next to that retarded person. Number one, that person did not ask to be born that way. Two, you know, how would you like it if somebody was making fun of you like that? And three, they can't control their actions, especially handicapped people. They don't even have the brain capacity to understand. But believe it or not, a lot of handicapped people are strong. They're very, very strong. Um, I dated a girl years ago that actually worked in a home for disabled people. And, the stories that she would tell me and the stuff that I would witness, you know, they're strong. They're very, very strong. Sometimes it would take 4, 5, 6 people to hold down one person. And I think that's one thing that people don't realize. They look at somebody in a wheelchair, they're like, ha, 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 that person's in a wheelchair, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That person's strong, and you have to give that person credit for dealing with that. I mean, I just, it really just bothers me when people make fun of other people because they didn't ask to be born like that. Um, I just wanted to look up. I think what happens is a lot of it is discrimination. And I think when it comes to the disabled, a lot of people see them through discrimination. And um, st- I can never pronounce this word, but statistically, there are 54 million disabled Americans in the United States. And the number has increased each and every day as we are all equally um, one accident away from being, slightly to severely injured or even disabled in some way. When we think of the disabled population, we have the tendency to think the worst of them, in terms of their abilities versus disabilities to perform, you know, uh, productivity. And in a normal society, in comparison to the non-disabled population, uh, thus, it's pre-convinced, I guess, you know, ideas of where we think the disabled population should belong or not belong in a normal society as a unfortunate result. And I disagree with that. I mean, a lot of people will say that they don't think that disabled people belong in society. Um, Now, like what we define, like what someone else defines in your own mind as being normal, like what is normal really to you, you know? Think about that for a moment. Um, have I hit a nerve yet? Because I mean, this topic is touchy and it's hard to talk about. I realize that this may sound harsh and I apologize for being blunt, but for the most part, um, the non-disabled population feel an uneasy discomfort towards the disabled population because they fail to understand the needs, their wants, etc. of the disabled concerning each, severity of disability closely related. um, to each disabled individual. And it is the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding that draws the non-disabled um, population away from the disabled population. The feeling, thus the feeling a strong sense of discomfort in accepting them as a whole, you know, and this is a harsh reality for the non-disabled population to admit. True, nonetheless, we have negative, uneasy thoughts and feelings towards the disabled, and in our subconscious mind, because we fail to meet their needs through the process of words we choose to communicate with. Um, Now, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for the general population about how they feel. We process our thoughts of communication in a disapproving, um, what's the word I want to look for? Disapproving pretense tone of voice, and the choices of words we can choose to use in our ability to communicate. Why do we discriminate towards the disabled in this way? You know, do we feel intimidated? Do we feel nervous in understanding their specific needs um, concerning a physical or mental disability? I mean, it is a fear of the unknown, to perhaps learn about something that is unknown to us. We feel an overwhelming, daunting experience to learn about the specific needs of the disabled because we often perceive having a disability as, you know, some type of disease or like some type in a negative way. And it's that simple, basically, how our society thinks. You know, I disagree 120,000%. I mean, it's all about acceptance. And with the disabled population is acceptance and complete understanding of their specific needs. And I would like to see the non-disabled population concentrate and focus on these two words to meet their specific challenges head on. Because I don't even think, I mean, you understand what a disabled person goes through, whether it's physically or mentally. Um, can the non-disabled population accomplish this for the disabled population? I mean, I would like, personally, to see the non-disabled population wear the same shoes of the disabled population for at least one day. One day, and then talk about them. Say what you want. It will be lessons well learned in how we treat and view the disabled population. And I would also like to see somebody walk a mile in that person's shoes, you know. However, the United States treats the disabled far better than some European and Asian countries. Should the disabled population and the non-disabled population equally consider themselves fortunate in this respect? Unfortunately, there are some European, Asian countries around the world that, um, still hold so much stuff against them. And it's a backwards idea of where the disabled population should belong in society. For the most part, these are usually poor third world countries who treat the disabled in an inhumane manner. This is unfortunate but true on so many levels, and it just irritates me and it really gets under my skin. And, I keep asking myself, well, will they ever learn to treat the disabled in a humane manner? Like an actual, will our society ever treat the disabled like normal human beings? They're not aliens. They're not animals. I mean, hell, our society treats animals better than people with disabilities. And, you know, to be blunt, You may not like what I'm saying, a lot of you, and that's fine. You have the right to be wrong. But, you know, I just feel like I needed to talk about this topic and really kind of get down to what the nitty gritty bits and pieces of the world is, because, you know, think about the jobs. Getting a job for the disabled population achieve like like it's so hard for them to find employment and finding and keeping stable employment. I mean, like 60% of the disabled population who voluntarily receive and complete VR services are about half of the 60% are successful in achieving stable employment. And however, these individuals are usually individuals with or without a disability and do not receive SSI services. Um, I don't know. I don't understand. And I think, who is to really blame here? And finally, is the government wasting their money? And I mean, think about it. Really, honestly, sit down and think about it. And I would be considered disabled, okay? And a lot of people wouldn't see me as that because I look fine. But just because somebody looks fine doesn't mean that they're not suffering. And it goes back to society and the world and how we are so quick to judge somebody. And which is why I always say don't judge. You know, be cool, be kind, don't judge, because you don't ever know what that person's battle is. Somebody may look fine, um, kind of like me, I look fine, but on a daily basis, I suffer from so many different types of nerve conditions, and people will say, "Oh, no, you don't. You look fine. You walk and blah blah blah." Okay, that's great, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't mean that I'm not suffering or I'm not in a lot of pain. I see neurologists, I see pain doctors, physical therapy, you name it, I do it. And I don't think people really, really understand um, disabilities until, like I said, until they walk in that person's shoes. So I guess in a nutshell, since I'm rambling on and on, um, I think that take a minute and think about people that have disabilities because they are people as well. And I guess it's your choice to think how you want to think about them, but if it was you dealing with a major physical or mental disability, I could almost bet that you would want to be treated equally. And like I said, it all goes back to discrimination, equal rights, and whatnot. I understand that a lot of people that are severely disabled cannot um, do things for themselves and need help on a 24/7 basis. And even those people should still not be judged. So, to answer your question, I do not judge you. And even if I didn't have my own disabilities, I still would not judge you. Um, I think of you as a person, a human being with a heart, with blood running through your body, and with a brain. And I just think of you as a human being. So, I hope this answered your question and what I think of, like you said, people like you, and I just think of you as a person. So, until later or tomorrow or until next time I post something, you never know when that's gonna be. I love you guys. Peace and love. I'll talk to you soon. See? If you just sit back a little farther, it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying for next time, just so you know. Alright, I'm out, and I will talk to you guys later. Be cool, be kind, don't judge, and you never know what someone's battling with, so watch your words. Bye.